We have 5th District Congresswoman Virginia Foxx, who is the first person in 5 at 5 history to make an encore appearance.
Well, I'm honored.
Congresswoman Foxx, is there something that's actually called a Virginia Foxx? Do you know of?
Is there a Virginia Foxx?
In other words, a fox from Virginia.
Oh, I don't know. I never looked into that before. I just tell everybody when I'm spelling my name that they can just think of a gray fox.
Yeah. Well, there was a great baseball player named Jimmy Foxx.
That's right, who spelled his name with two X's.
Yeah.
Yes, they called him Double X.
You're right.
That was
My
his
father
nickname.
was a kid back then, and he always talked about Double X. Yeah.
I met Bowie Kuhn 3 years ago. What an honor to meet Bowie Kuhn, and he never had any question about my name because of his knowing Jimmy Foxx. And my husband's a huge baseball fan, so...
Well, you may know Connie Mack.
I know Connie Mack very well.
His father, I guess maybe his grandfather, Connie Mack.
Right.
Whose name was actually Cornelius McGillicuddy.
Correct.
But the senator, I guess they changed the name somewhere along the line. But he was a senator from Florida.
Right, and
Connie
his
Mack.
son is now serving in the House.
Right.
He was elected the same time I was.
Well, Congresswoman Foxx, did you see I know you're from the mountains of North Carolina, so maybe you're an Appalachian State fan, maybe you're not. Did you see the huge upset of App State and Michigan State? I'm sure you've heard, Michigan, have you heard about it?
I was listening to the game. I didn't go to Michigan, but I did talk to Coach Moore a week before the game. I know Coach Moore. I'm a huge fan of Appalachians, worked there for 15 years. I'm an alum of Appalachian, didn't graduate, but went there. And I called the coach to wish him well about a week before the game. And he was very optimistic about winning. He said that he thought that Michigan might ignore Appalachian, that they'd be playing the next weekend's game or getting ready for the next weekend. He said, we think we have a really good chance because they may do that. And I think that's exactly what Michigan did. I think they underestimated Appalachian. And I'm thrilled that Appalachian upset Michigan and has gotten all this publicity. But it frustrates me a little bit that it puts in an eclipse a little bit the two national championships. I think that people underestimated them wrongly because they'd won two national championships. So it sort of downplays that. But I'm glad they're getting their attention. In fact, I was on the plane coming down here this morning and sat next to somebody from Washington who was flying to Mexico, and he said, where are you from? I said, well, I live near Boone. And he said, oh, yeah, Appalachian State. And he had no connection with Appalachian, but he knew.
It's put it on the map, so to speak.
It surely has.
Speaking of the map, today's the first day of fall, or tomorrow is the first full day of fall. Compare a fall day in the mountains of North Carolina to a fall day in Washington, D.C.
Well, actually, the last few days have been very pleasant in Washington. Clear skies, cool weather, but there isn't anything to compare with a fall day in the mountains of North Carolina. They can be perfect days. The last of September, all of October are just wonderful. Most people describe that as the best time of the year, and I certainly do. I have a great view of Grandfather Mountain from my house, and I love it when the leaves change colors and we can enjoy God's beauty. It's wonderful.
Congresswoman, one final question. If you've had an interesting career, you've been in the educational field, the state politics, and now national politics. If they were going to make a movie about your life, who would you want in all of Hollywood history, living or dead, if that could happen, to play Virginia Foxx?
Well, I'm not a person who knows the names of actresses very well. I don't keep up. I go to maybe one movie every 10 years in a movie theater. I'm not the kind of person to do that, so I wouldn't be able to think about somebody. Probably it would be some classic actress, though, rather than somebody who's around now. I mean, you know, I'm
Katharine
not
Hepburn type person.
Catherine. That's right. Yeah, Katharine Hepburn would probably be pretty good. She's sort of a crusty woman who says what she thinks and has led her life. She's done some things I wouldn't have done in my life, but she's certainly.
Actually, Ava Gardner, do you know, who's married to Frank Sinatra, is from
and
the
from,
mountains?
she's from. Well, she grew up in Selma, in North Carolina.
Right.
Yes,
Where's
there's a. It's down in Johnson County.
Oh, okay.
Johnson County.
But it's western North Carolina.
No.
Where's Johnson County at?
Johnson County is just east of Raleigh. Smithfield, Selma. In fact, they have a museum there, I think. They're very proud of the fact that Ava Gardner is from there. Yeah.
Congresswoman Foxx, we have a new thing since the last time you were here. We give a high five at 5.
High five.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Jim.